Right, so we're going to be covering how to leverage money in order to recruit models for your OFM agency. So obviously, remember that time is money. So the unpaid methods, which you're going to be doing for free, like cold outreach, DMing, mass DMing models, and all that shit, are obviously going to take a lot of time to be able to do that. You have to hone your skills and get a lot of practice to be able to actually perfect your pitch and be able to sign models via cold outreach, etc.
So before you actually start using and leveraging money to get an OF model, I recommend 1, getting good experience or getting well trained in the area, and 2, getting your sales pitches very good. Because most of the time, you can't directly buy the model. They're not an object. You can't buy them. However, you can buy a communication line, and this is going to allow you to be able to advise them on what you do and what services you provide, and then most likely they're going to join, and then you'll have the model. Simples. However, if you've got a really bad sales pitch, you don't really know what you're doing, you're not going to be very good at informing the model how you're going to help them. Meaning they're likely not going to sign if you've got a shit sales pitch.
So how do you actually get a better sales pitch? So one way is obviously starting out with cold outreach. I don't care if you've got however many thousand in the bank. Starting out with cold outreach will just allow you to put the volume in, actually practice outreaching to models, speaking to them, learning what works best, what messages they're most likely to reply to, and what messages actually lead to closing a model. So even if you do have money to leverage and you haven't started cold outreach yet, start with cold outreach just to get the pitch sorted. Once you do actually get the money to be able to leverage to purchase models.
Right, so we start off some methods now. So number 1 is probably the most simple one. You probably heard it the most, just advertisement. So this is often ran on like Instagram or Facebook ads, simple things like this. Really effective. You get hundreds of replies from models, and you can practice your sales pitching on their models because clearly they're looking for a management team. So this is one way to get models contacts and get models that are interested in getting a management team. However, this does take a lot of time. You will have to shortlist a lot of them. This is because some of them are dreamers, some of them haven't started, some of them are already in the game but are struggling. So there's a lot of different components that will affect your sales pitch.
Yeah, so the cheapest method for running ads, you can literally run ads with $10, $20, $30 in your bank. It's not actually that hard. All you do is post an Instagram story, press boost, select a South American country. I recommend because they're going to be cheaper. So Brazil, Colombia, Argentina are probably the best examples because the girls are hungry for money and they're pretty good looking. The age and interests are up to you. However, I don't recommend putting any interest because it would just confuse the fucking system. Literally £10, $10 per day for 2-3 days should be enough to get you hundreds of messages from girls from South America. Make sure you include an OnlyFans logo in the advert. The reason you do this is because you can't actually write the word OnlyFans physically. However, logos are allowed. The word OF is allowed as well, or OFans. Shit like this will work and bypass the system.
So another method is obviously model marketplaces. You've probably heard of them a lot, and people don't quite understand them. So we're going to briefly mention what they are and how they work. So a model goes to an agency asking for them to manage them. That agency may not want to take them on directly, so they can put them on a marketplace for other people to buy the contacts for that model. Once purchasing them contacts, you can then do your sales pitch to the model, talk with them, see if you're a good fit, and hopefully they'll sign the contract. You can start working with them and make some money together.
Yeah, I'd be very, very careful with marketplaces. It's one of the most common scams I've seen on the internet as a fucking whole. If you're being approached by a marketplace asking you to buy models, don't fucking do it. Stick to the big names. Ask in communities that you're in. Just stick a message in any community saying, does anyone know a good model marketplace? You'll most likely be guided towards good marketplaces and trusted marketplaces within that community.
So the next one is going to be agency to agency. So a lot of people, when they're doing OFM, they get their agency, they grow it to quite a big size, and they take on too many models, and then they can't manage all of these models. So they want to get rid of some. However, they don't want to just give up on them and throw them into deep water, because they're going to be pretty fucked because they've been getting managed the whole time. So what they do instead is they can either sell the model's contacts, and they can either do this in 2 ways. They can either do it in a lump sum of money, like £200, £300, £400, something like that, or they can do it on a percentage fee. So they say, I will take 5, 10, or 15%, whatever they want to do, however you run the model. There's a few different ways on how this is done, depending on the agency and the situation. So you would have to communicate with another agency. But this is a very common thing, and it does happen quite a lot. So if you are starting off and you know your stuff, you want to get into the game, networking is very powerful.
Yeah, 100%. And one thing I'd add to that is just don't be shy to actually network, because a lot of people do come into the agency with like some lone wolf fucking mentality, thinking, oh, I'm going to make all this money, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But can you really do that without knowing people within the industry, without business partners, without this and that? Probably not. Definitely not as quick as you would with all those assets I just listed.
So another one is AI model to model recruitment. So what you're required to do here is set up an AI model, which is going to cost a little bit of money, not much at all. And then it's going to allow you to outreach to other models. Models aren't going to know that this is an AI account, because AI is so realistic now, it's very hard to tell. So then you're going to be communicating backwards and forwards between the two models, networking and referring your own agency. This is an easy way to get models across to your agency. However, once again, you need to be good at your job, because you need to make that AI models account looking very good and desirable, so the model actually comes across to you.
Yeah, models are 10 times more likely to trust another model over some just outreaching to them with a Canva logo saying, oh yeah, I'm this agency, do you want to sign up to my agency? No one wants to do that. So models are more likely to trust the word of other models, of course. It's just a little trust that they're going to have, because they're both in the same industry, they both do the same shit, and they both have to deal with all these agencies messaging all the time. But one thing I would recommend when setting up this AI model is that you do buy an account with followers, or buy followers for an account. It will just make your account look bigger and more reputable to models, because then you'll have the respect of actually building up an account, and it will just look better to models. I don't think they'll reply to anything with like 2 followers or some shit like that. It'll just be pointless.
So the last method we're going to mention, because obviously there's quite a few, but we're just going to mention this as the last one, is data scrapers, or buying leads. So this is where you invest in either a software or someone to scrape data from, I don't know, strip clubs or pimps or something along these lines, to get people that are already in the sex industry's contacts. And then you can then pitch them, see if they already do OnlyFans or want to start OnlyFans, and then work together with them.
I don't know if you're that sad and you've ever been on a prostitution website, but if you have, you'll know that all their numbers are basically listed publicly, because obviously then they can get contacted by their customers. So what you can do is hire a VA to go through the list of these prostitutes and get their numbers. And of course, they're already in the sex industry, so they already know about OnlyFans, or they may even have an OnlyFans already, but they're most likely going to want to get out of that type of work, because no one likes to do that type of work. It's just shit. So by giving them another option, you're basically helping them out and saying, look, I know you're in the sex industry, I have a better way to make money, etc. I do this, I do that, and pitch them your normal fucking pitch, whatever works best for you.
So yeah, these are just the most common ways that are normally used to leverage money to get a model to manage on OnlyFans. And it is a great way, just if you are struggling, to be able to recruit models just by cold outreach or something along these lines, which is a free method, but takes a lot more time. So these are effective. You should try them out, and good luck.